This is John with the latest on the NFL AFC playoff race as it goes into Week 9. Calculations are from my free tool at playoffcomputer.appspot.com. You can use it to analyze your own fantasy football league as well as support this mission in stat geekery if so inclined. FYI, there is an extended podcast version of this on Spotify, Apple, and other places. Usually comes out later in the week. Going over the big winners of the week, the Dolphins, with their win, vanquished one team in their division in the season series and are now solidly above the pack. The Jaguars win combined with the Texans loss gives them a 2-game lead in the AFC South. And the Ravens, also now 6-2, and thanks to losses by the Steelers and Browns, have a nice division lead as well. And in reverse, those teams I mentioned that helped out the winners are, guess what, the big losers of the week. Steelers and Browns were above the crowd but now fall into the middle of it, with the Texans falling below 500 with a disappointing loss to the formerly winless Panthers. Here is the overview of the AFC. 4 teams at 6-2, all between 80 and 85% chance to make the playoffs. The Chiefs and Jaguars, with better odds to win their division, have a slight edge over the Dolphins and Ravens. The Bills at 5-3 have a win over the Gaggle at 4-3, but are just 1-2 in division play and 2-3 in the conference so far, to keep that in mind. That Gaggle at 4-3, Steelers and Browns have the best conference records of the bunch, so they are a little bit ahead of the others, with the Steelers so far holding a win over the Browns and having a 48% chance to make the playoffs. The Jets are right in the middle, with the Bengals, with their 0-2 division and 0-3 conference record, quite a bit behind the others in the numbers, 39% chance to make the playoffs. 3 teams at 3-4, all around a 1-4 chance. Texans have a slight edge in conference record over the Titans and Chargers. 4 teams in my self-described danger zone: Colts, Raiders, Broncos, and Patriots. The Patriots being the first team in the AFC to lose the ability to control their own destiny. There are now scenarios in which they could win out and miss the playoffs. That ability, unlike virginity, can rejuvenate with some wins and some things falling back into place. Other than the Patriots, all teams still control their own destiny, win out and in no matter what else happens. As of right now, there are still some wacky scenarios that exist where 7 wins gets in, but the most likely number of wins needed for a wild card is still around 10 to 11. For what it's worth, the win mark to guarantee a playoff spot no matter what has dropped from 13 to 12. Looking at each division, starting with the East. Dolphins and Bills bounce back to keep pace with the Jets, who have bounced back 3 weeks in a row. Dolphins at 6-2 with about a 50-50 chance to win the division. Bills and Jets roughly split the rest of the percentages. Patriots far back, although note they have some winnable games coming up to maybe get back into it. Right now the computer says 11 wins is projected to be good enough to win the division. TeamRankings.com has it being 12, with the Dolphins narrowly beating out the Bills for it. They have the Jets finishing at 9-8 and in a tie for the last wildcard spot. Thanks to them for letting me use their data. Dolphins with the big game against the Chiefs this week. Best opportunity for the others to get within spitting distance. In the AFC North, perhaps the most intriguing of the divisions, Ravens and Bengals have now won 3 in a row. Steelers and Browns couldn't keep up to speed. Ravens now at 6-2 and around a 50-50 chance to win the division. The rest of the odds split pretty much 3 ways among everyone else, who sits 4-3. With everyone above 500, the projected number of wins to take the division is around 11 or 12. Again, my projections have 10 or 11 wins being necessary to guarantee a wild card spot without needing tiebreakers. Team Rankings has the Ravens finishing at 12-5, with the Browns taking a wild card spot at 10-7, and they have the Bengals and Steelers finishing 9-8 and tying for the last wild card spot. No division games here this week. Next one is next week. Ravens play the Browns to try to get some clarity on things here. Over at the AFC South, Jaguars holding a firm grip on the division after winning 5 straight. Now a 70% chance to win the division. Texans and Titans, the closest at 3-4. Colts fading. Computer still says number of wins needed to take the division is between 10 and 11, but it is falling closer to 10 fast. Jaguars are on bye this week, so they can't lose too much of their lead. Team Rankings has them forecast to win the division handily with no one else going to the playoffs. Texans, with that bad loss, falling out of favor. AFC West. Chiefs beat the Broncos for the 412th straight time. Oh, hold on, I had pre-written that. I meant to say the Broncos slaughtered the Chiefs as everyone predicted. Still at 6-2 if everyone else below 500. Chiefs' odds to win the division are still north of 70%. Chargers closest at 3-4 with a 12% chance. Chiefs with that Dolphins matchup. Chargers play what might be an entertaining one against the Jets. Broncos can savor their win while on bye. Computer's guess for wins needed to take the West is just 10. Team Rankings projections concur. They have the Chiefs getting 12 with the Chargers accumulating 9 and tying for a wildcard spot. Four intra-conference games for Week 9, looking at how they affect the non-combatants. Titans at Steelers. Only the Jaguars are better off of a Steelers win as it takes out a division opponent of theirs. Everyone else is better off of a Titans win and the Steelers sinking deeper into the mud pit. The Dolphins at Chiefs probably doesn't affect others too much, but the computer says obviously the other AFC West teams would love to see the Chiefs lose again, but that also the Steelers and Patriots would benefit from such. Everyone else is slightly better off of a Chiefs win. Bills at Bengals. This one I found interesting. Computer says the Jets are better off of a Bills win, along with the Titans, while everyone else is better off of a Bengals win. I think it is 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Either the Bills are 6-3 and the Bengals are on the back foot, or the Bengals are 5-3 and the Bills go back into the cesspool of teams fighting. And then the Chargers at Jets. Chiefs and Raiders, of course, better off of the Chargers falling. Everyone else better off of a Chargers win. That's it for now. Again, my site is playoffcomputer.appspot.com. Please check it out if you play in or in particular Commisha Fantasy Other Sports League. Feel free to send comments, questions, or suggestions. Enjoy your day.